Welcome to Insights into Insurance with Tom Sorensen of Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is educational in nature and not intended to be acted upon without first consulting the appropriately licensed professional.
Saturday morning here on KATE, time for another episode of Insights into Insurance with Americana Insurance, Tom Sorensen. And Tom, we're now 1 week away from a home invader coming down people's chimneys.
Yeah, and I don't believe I've actually gone out and bought one single Christmas present yet.
You too?
Yeah, me too. It's not December 24th yet, is it?
No, I was telling someone the 23rd is my day.
23rd. Okay, maybe 23rd. Okay. All right.
This is a special time of year, Tom. I mean, I think if you were to take a poll across, let's say, Freeborn County, I'm going to wager to best guess that this question that was asked by a listener for this week, 2% of the entire population will be in the same boat.
Actually, this question is actually the most popular time of when this question gets asked during Christmas, and that's why this was a great listener email for this time of the year.
And I'm going to start off by saying we have withheld this person's name because we don't want to get a female's expectation up if they think.
Right. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So, that would not be good. And she was thinking that she was going to get something and all of a sudden it's not him. So,
yeah,
we're protecting the guilty, maybe?
We definitely are.
Okay.
The listener email this week. Hi, Tom. I heard your show on the radio. I'm going to pop the question this Christmas to my girlfriend. I thought I would ask you on how much to insure the ring that I bought. Nameless in Freeborn County.
Yes, and actually, not only how much and how, but I'll ask her, I'll tell you how to insure it too. And so, first of all, I want to say congratulations to my listener. Oh, wow. Every girl dreams of their special someone will pop the question, although maybe my wife will argue that point. Maybe she's not thinking that was every girl's dream when I ask, but I don't know. Wearing that sentimental token of affection, or AKA the gorgeous diamond ring, is exciting, but can quickly begin to make the girl anxious and nervous, because this is what goes through her mind. What if I lose it?
Uh-oh.
What if I bang it and the diamond falls out?
Mm-hmm.
And what if it gets stolen? We need to insure it quick.
Get that, yes.
That's what she's thinking. So,
and Tom, I mean, one of the things that is going to go into it too, and I know we'll probably get to it, but a lot of those things is you're going to have to know what kind of ring it is and all of that. But let's start off with who, namely, needs to insure this. Is it the person that wears it or the person that bought it?
Well, and that's the good question, because typically the person who insures an engagement ring ought to be the owner of the ring. Technically, even though it is typically the man who purchases the ring, he gives the ring to his future bride as a symbol of his love and commitment. Boy, am I getting mushy. Therefore, it is the bride-to-be's job to protect it, and that includes insuring it. Now, not every company has those rules, but quite a few of ours do. So some insurance companies allow the men or the one who will be giving the ring to purchase the insurance, but in many cases they require the woman or the one who receives the ring to insure it.
Because I know that's probably the first question that a lot of people will have. Oh, great, I got it. Now I got to get it insured. Now we know who.
We've actually have had the, until the gentleman gives the ring back, he insures it. And then once the bride-to-be gets it, then she insures it.
Oh, okay. So that's a great way to do it.
Yes.
Another big question I think we're going to see, as this is the question a lot of people will be asking this holiday season, is when you think about it, all right, I want to insure this ring because it's a sign of commitment and love, and he finally decided he was going to do this. Where does that fit into my insurance? Does that go under homeowners? If people rent, it can go under there. Where does that go?
Right. Well, first of all, not only is it a commitment and a sign of his love, but it's also a sign out of his pocketbook that went that they're usually pretty expensive.
Yes.
Okay. Not to say that they have to be expensive,
no.
but they are typically an expensive piece of jewelry. So where to insure it? Your question is, You can insure it under a homeowner's policy, or a lot of times at that age, younger ones, they aren't homeowners, so they might look at renters insurance. Their renters insurance might be able to cover it. Most all renters and homeowners policies will automatically cover a ring for named perils such as fire or theft, but that comes with warnings. Okay, there's a deductible that applies. Okay. Many homeowners policies or renters policies nowadays comes with the $1,000 deductible. Okay, so that would be at risk. Okay, plus there's almost on all policies, there's a limit of theft coverage on jewelry. Okay, anywhere typically from $1,500 to $2,500. Okay, so let's just say the ring gets the house gets broken into, the ring gets stolen. You're not going to be too happy to receive anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 plus minus the deductible. Let's just say that gentleman spent $8,000 on that ring. Okay, not going to be a very good situation, especially with the younger ones. I mean, that ring is probably one of the most expensive things that they've ever purchased in their life right now. So, and then there's also limits to the actual coverage under the homeowners. So what does a typical person do or should do or look at? We call it scheduling the piece of jewelry, or in this case, the ring on your policy separate from your other contents coverage. Okay. So we add it onto the homeowners or the renter's policy as what we call an inland marine coverage or a floater coverage. What we would need is an appraisal, and normally when you first buy that ring, they give you an appraisal. Okay, and then that would eliminate the deductible or decrease it tremendously by eliminating that. By doing that, it's usually a $0 to $100 deductible.
That's just one of those things. There is typically what it is. Now, when it comes to you talking about eliminating that deductible, does that mean that there's no worry about if someone were to break in?
Right. So then by doing that, then it eliminates the theft limit. Okay. So let's just say you put it on the policy for $8,000. You got coverage up to $8,000. Okay. Plus then the deductible on what we call an inland marine or scheduled jewelry piece would probably be either $0 or $100 is typical deductible on something like that.
Okay. That's an affordable deductible for many people, especially after they spent maybe $8,000.
Absolutely, yes.
Now, does this take away from anything when I put something on? If I were to get this inland marine coverage for jewelry or for my fiance, is this going to take away from me though? If like the house burns down or the whole house is ransacked?
No. That's why a lot of people should schedule these items out because, okay, so let's just say if the ring was $8,000 and let's just say it burnt up. Okay, a lot of times, many fires, you can't find things, even though that it's metal, whatever, you can't find it. It burns up or whatever, melts down. Well, if that was the case, that $8,000 would go towards your contents coverage. Okay, so let's just say you had $100,000 worth of contents coverage. Well, 8,000 of it is going to be used up on that one item. Okay, I have had many total losses in my 20-some years of insurance, and I have yet to see somebody not use up their contents, the full amount of their contents coverage. So that's another reason you don't want that one item to use up. So you would have $92,000 left in that example.
So that's why we always want to do what you refer to as schedule the piece of jewelry.
Correct.
Tom, we're going to take a quick break here on Insights into Insurance with Americana Insurance. Tom Sorensen joining us as he does each and every Saturday right around 8:45. When we come back, I think a big question a lot of guys are going to be asking is, future in-laws, and we'll get to that in a little bit.
All right. Sounds great.
'Twas the night before Christmas when a mouse chewed on a wire, frying himself and starting a fire. The fire spread to the tree, which burst into flame, burning the presents, both the good and the lame. A sweater? Yuck! But the fire trucks rescued the kids' dad and mama, and thank goodness they had insurance with Americana. Bet you never saw that coming.
Wishing you a Merry and safe Christmas. Your friends at Americana Insurance in Albert Lea.
Welcome on back into Insights into Insurance with Americana Insurance and Tom Sorensen. And Tom, we are talking about one of the biggest moments in, generally speaking, a young man's life, and that's proposing to his girlfriend, soon-to-be fiancé.
Absolutely. Pretty neat time in their life. And as I said, most people, maybe my wife wouldn't say that, but no, I think my wife is okay with that, I hope. But maybe I should ask her. But anyway, so yeah, it is such a big thing in their life, and it's a very happy time. The thing is with this and the brand new ring and its high value is, you know, we don't want to add to that stress in case something were to happen to that ring. And that's what would happen if something were to happen to that ring. It would just make a happy time to be all of a sudden a real anxious time, nervous time.
Before we took that break, we were talking a little bit about what you refer to as scheduling the piece. People may have heard it referred to as inland marine coverage. Now, we talked about that. On top of what we talked about with scheduling the piece and inland marine insurance, is there any sort of additional coverage I could take out or she could take out on that ring just to be safe?
Yeah, well, along with scheduling it out, or the inland marine coverage is what we call it. I know that's a really weird name. It's it sounds like it should be a boat that you're insuring. Yeah, it goes way, way, way back. It's back into the 1800s and that, with trains and boats and things like that. Why it came up with that name, I could go on and do a whole show on that. But it's called inland marines, or scheduled policy, or some people call it floater policy. And the biggest coverage that I feel it adds mysterious disappearance to that coverage on the ring, which your homeowners, your underlying homeowners, or your homeowners policy would not cover. And this is the most common claim that we have is somebody has a ring of value, and all of a sudden they look down and find that a diamond is missing out of their set, because not always is it one diamond, or it can be just the one diamond too in that ring, and they have no idea what happened to it. Okay, with the scheduled or inland marine policy or endorsement to a homeowner's policy, that would be covered. Okay, again, either no deductible or a very small deductible, and that's a very common claim that we have, way more common than losing the whole ring itself. Okay, so you can imagine. So you'd say, well, that might not be that much. No, that diamond is where the value is in the ring, and so that can be a very costly loss, and so that would cover that situation.
Excellent. Talking with Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance. Once again, we're just talking generalities here. If you've got questions about covering a ring, maybe you've been married for a while and didn't have coverage on it, please talk to your insurance agent. Or, of course, Tom would love to talk with you as well. Tom, so the potential groom asks his girlfriend to marry him. Now, all of a sudden, well, she doesn't rent. She doesn't own a home. She's at home with her parents currently. Can she still get that insured?
Yes, she can. She can actually go onto her parents' policy, and they can add that on as a schedule. Now, they can talk that over, who's going to pay for the additional cost to that. But because she's a family member in her parents' house, she is considered insured under their policy, not only for anything as far as belongings, but liability and that. But that's where they could add this ring also onto their policy. But once the bride moves out, she needs to get insurance on her own or with her new husband. Okay, then also too, we have where people live on their own. Okay, they live together. Okay, that all these situations happen, and you can insure. Sometimes we have this where a couple that's not married yet, if the insurance company will allow it, will insure them together on the same policy. But again, boy, I don't want to put a damper on this, but I would say, again, in my experience over many years in this business, I would say warning, warning, warning. Okay, some engagements do fall apart. Okay, and that can be kind of messy when you try to break up the policy and figure out to make changes and things like that, and one won't talk to the other and stuff. So I don't want to talk about that before Christmas here. So, but just be careful. I would suggest actually having two separate policies at that time until you actually do get married, and then put everything into one. Okay.
And Tom, we've got about 30 seconds here left. The other piece to it is people will say, well, Tom, I don't have a ring, but I've got some other collectibles and things of that nature. Can those also be covered?
Yes, and there's certain policy limits on your regular homeowners that a lot of people do not know, and they can be antiques, collectibles, artwork, guns, and much more, and so those can also be scheduled out and added again. So if you have an $8,000 antique table, there could be a limit on that piece and not get paid $8,000 for it. Okay, but if you schedule it, you could insure it for $8,000. Okay, so again, that's just a real broad statement on all those things. I could get much deeper into that, but those are other things that have limits on the policy normally.
And, of course, if you want to get deeper with it, you can contact Tom from Americana Insurance at
507-377-2000, or you can also send me a listener email at insights@americanainsurance.com.
Thanks, Tom. Look forward to talking with you, I guess, be Christmas Eve.
I was just going to say, if I don't see you before that, Merry Christmas, Paul.
Merry Christmas, Tom.
You've been listening to Insights into Insurance from Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is intended to be educational in nature. Before acting upon any information obtained during the Insights into Insurance radio show broadcast, consult an appropriately licensed professional.